Welcome to Spaceverse, your portal to cosmic adventures. A future space station has exploded, SpaceX is making significant moves in Australia, Falcon 9 is back in flight, and NASA has made a groundbreaking discovery of life on Mars. Sierra Space has introduced the latest prototype of their inflatable life habitat module, but it has unfortunately exploded once again. This event marks the second full-scale ultimate burst pressure test for the Life 285 design. Unlike the initial test conducted last December, this new test incorporated a large metal blanking plate attached to the inflatable pressure shell. The purpose of this plate is to mimic the presence of a window or any other rigid attachment point that Sierra might use for mounting equipment such as robotic arms, antennas, or other critical instruments. The addition of this metal plate is crucial because it represents a potential point of failure in the module's design. The test is specifically designed to evaluate the strength and durability of the interface between the soft goods shell of the module and the metal blanking plate. While windows and attachment points are essential for functionality, they can also introduce vulnerabilities. Consequently, Sierra Space has deployed a range of high-speed cameras and sensors to meticulously monitor the test and gather data on how these points handle the pressure. Sierra Space's goal is to achieve results similar to their 2023 test, where the module reached an impressive 77 psi of internal pressure before bursting. This result is notably higher than NASA's maximum safety requirement of 60 psi and significantly exceeds the module's intended operational pressure, which is designed to replicate Earth's atmospheric pressure at 14 psi. This rigorous testing process is essential to ensure the module's resilience and safety in space environments where the stakes are exceptionally high. The results of the latest test showed a pressure of 74 psi at the ultimate burst point, which is exactly what Sierra Space was aiming for. This indicates that the integration of the metal blanking plate did not compromise the module's structural integrity. The test module's exterior features a woven Vectrin material, which Sierra uses as their restraint layer. Vectrin, similar to Kevlar but specifically engineered for space use, is also found in NASA's EV suits and the landing airbags of earlier Mars rovers. It is known for its exceptional strength, and in Sierra's life shell design, it is just the 8th layer. On top of this are 4 additional layers for micrometeoroid and orbital debris protection, followed by a thermal blanket and a barrier against atomic oxygen. According to Sierra's latest video, their MMODA layers are currently undergoing high-speed projectile tests at NASA's White Sands testing facility, where they are being shot at with a .50 caliber rifle to assess their durability. In the future, we will see the pressure shell and MMOD layers combined for final burst testing, which will determine the true resilience of this inflatable module. Meanwhile, Sierra plans to deploy and test the Life 285 in orbit within the next few years. The current prototype has a diameter of 9 meters and provides 1/3 of the internal volume of the International Space Station. By the end of the decade, Sierra aims to develop the Life 500, which will still fit within a conventional rocket fairing, but expand to 9 meters in diameter and 10 meters in length, offering an internal volume of 500 cubic meters, more than half the pressurized volume of the ISS. SpaceX appears to be making significant moves in Australia. According to a recent Reuters update, SpaceX is reportedly in discussions with both US and Australian officials about the possibility of landing and recovering a future Starship upper stage off the coast of Australia. While Reuters has been known to publish stories about Elon Musk's ventures that sometimes face skepticism, there have been instances where these reports have proven accurate. If this plan goes ahead, there are 2 major benefits. First, SpaceX would secure a practical landing site for their near-orbital test flights. The last Starship test flight ended with a controlled landing somewhere in the Indian Ocean, but the spacecraft was not recovered. The new strategy would involve launching Starship from SpaceX Starbase in Texas, landing it in the ocean near Australia, and then recovering it on Australian soil. This would mark a significant advancement for achieving a fully reusable Starship upper stage. The plan includes recovering the spacecraft either from the ocean or a floating barge, and then transporting it to a port on Australia's western or northern coast. However, there are political hurdles to overcome. This operation would involve exporting advanced space technology from the US to Australia, which is currently restricted by US export controls. Nevertheless, there have been signs that these restrictions might be relaxed in the interest of global security. The US aims to enhance Australia's capabilities to counter China's growing military presence in the South Pacific. Strengthening Australia's position could provide the US with a valuable ally in the region. In return, Australia would gain access to American resources to bolster its own space program and launch industry. Australia's strategic location near the equator and its access to open ocean make it an ideal site for orbital launches. The Reuters report suggests that water landings off Australia's coast could be just the beginning. This initiative might expand to include ground landings on Australian territory and potentially even the establishment of a SpaceX launch facility in the country. Additionally, the U.S. Air Force is interested in using Starship for its rocket cargo program, which involves rapid point-to-point delivery of military equipment. SpaceX has already secured over $100 million in military funding for this concept, and a demonstration flight from Texas to Australia could align with the military's goals. SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket has made a successful return to flight with a flurry of activity over the weekend. On July 27th and 28th, Falcon 9 launched 3 Starlink missions from Cape Canaveral and Vandenberg Space Force Base. This marks a return to form after a brief hiatus following a July 11th incident where a failure in the upper stage Merlin vacuum engine prevented the Starlink payload from reaching its intended orbit, leading to the loss of the satellites. The issue was quickly identified as a leak in the liquid oxygen system, traced back to a crack in a line connected to a pressure sensor. SpaceX investigation found that the crack was caused by fatigue from engine vibrations and a loosened clamp. To address this, SpaceX adopted a strategy inspired by an old Elon Musk adage: "The best part is no part." The company decided to remove the problematic line and sensor from subsequent Merlin vacuum engines. An update on July 25th revealed that the sensor in question was not critical to the flight safety system and could be replaced by existing sensors on the engine. SpaceX reported the incident to the FAA, which is overseeing the investigation, but the FAA has given the green light for the launches to proceed. The FAA confirmed that, after a thorough review, the anomaly did not pose any public safety risks. As a result, all 3 Falcon 9 launches were executed successfully, deploying over 60 Starlink satellites. Many of these satellites feature enhanced capabilities for direct-to-cell phone communication. Recently, there's been a lot of buzz about NASA discovering life on Mars. While that's not quite accurate, the Perseverance rover has indeed made a fascinating discovery that might offer a clue about ancient life on the Red Planet. On July 2, Perseverance collected a sample from the Jezero crater, which is the dried-up bed of an ancient Martian lake. This particular rock sample is the first one that Perseverance has examined containing organic molecules. While organic molecules are not the same as life, they are crucial building blocks for life. This isn't the first time organic material has been found on Mars. Curiosity rover discovered similar compounds in 2014 within the Gale crater. What sets this new sample apart is its distinctive appearance. It features a speckled pattern of white spots with black rims resembling leopard spots. Analysis by Perseverance's instruments revealed that the rims are composed of iron phosphate molecules. On Earth, such textures and chemistries are often linked to ancient microbial life, as the chemical processes that form these rings can provide energy sources for microbes. According to Perseverance Deputy Project Scientist Katie Stack Morgan, based on our experience with similar things on Earth, there is a possibility that life could have been involved, and these could have a biological origin. The rock also contains intriguing features, such as white veins of calcium sulfate filled with millimeter-sized crystals of olivine, a mineral formed from magma. The presence of both the speckled pattern and volcanic features in the same rock suggests different origins, adding to the rock's mystery. Determining how this rock formed could shed light on whether the Martian environment might have supported biological life. To get definitive answers, the rock would need to be brought to Earth for further analysis. This sample return mission is a primary objective for Perseverance. However, the current infrastructure needed for such a mission is on hold as NASA seeks additional funding and potential solutions from private sector companies. The discovery of intriguing samples like this one strengthens the case for a Mars sample return mission, making it easier to justify the expense if it leads to definitive proof of life beyond Earth. And that's it. Thanks for joining us on Spaceverse. We've covered some exciting developments this week. SpaceX's successful return to flight with Falcon 9, intriguing discoveries from NASA's Perseverance rover on Mars, and potential new SpaceX operations in Australia. Stay tuned as we continue to explore the latest in space exploration and technology. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to keep up with all things space. Until next time, keep looking up.